Thank you very much, guys. This is Joel with your interview translations. We are here with MVP who lost the first game, but do pick up the next two to get a 2-1 victory over BBQ Olivers. And we are here with today's MVPs, ADD and Ian for the interview. Ian, how long has it been since you won an MVP? Yeah, I did get one back in the Longzhu series I had, but it's good to get it again though. Aren't you pretty happy about the situation? Yeah, I feel like just trying to avoid the relegation is like the biggest hope for us right now. And ADD, it's just been such a long time since we've seen you here. Yeah, I was so lost on how to do the interviews in the first place. It's been such a long time that I forgot how to get here from the booth. It's such a long walk. So yeah, I forgot the usual path that I usually took to get here. So that's how long it's been since I got an MVP. So hope I remember the path next time around. So I hope I get it another one soon enough. And we just cannot avoid not talking about the patch, and this is a big change that you guys seen. Yeah, I think there hasn't been much change to the mid lane, but I think you would really want to talk to the top laner. Yeah, the first round Robin of the summer was really all dependent on the junglers. The top meta really didn't do anything unless the jungle came in and really changed the laning phase, and that was the difference maker. But now the top laners can really make their own difference as well. And a lot of people do really expect that MVP was really waiting for this particular meta, with the tank meta really being an advantage for you guys. Yeah, I think mid and bot lane weren't really seeing much changes with the new meta, but I think it's more dependent on the top laner and also the jungle as well. And as a team, we like having these tank really hard initiating top laners up top, so that's kind of what we expected. And we saw a very aggressive use of the Maokai today, and they actually prepared with a Cho'Gath last time around. And it seems like that has been really the center of discussion with the current meta change. Yeah, I tried practicing Maokai and Cho'Gath during practice, and I felt that both were okay, but it just seemed like BBQ had no intentions on playing Maokai. So with the matchup, I thought it was a better pick to go with. Yeah, after using Cho'Gath for a few hundred games, I realized that the laning matchup is good, but there's just a little bit of limitness of what you can do in team fights with the Cho'Gath. And what was the difference maker after game 1 in forming the composition in game 2? Yeah, after game 1, when the ADC was the only damage dealer in the team, we thought that composition wasn't as successful as we previously intended it, but I think we tried to pick out the balance a little bit better that time around. So I think that was kind of what led to our win in game 2. And it just felt like you picking Orianna the last pick against Galio. We don't know if the Galio really goes well against Orianna. Yeah, I feel like it's personally me using the Orianna, I have good eyes for using the ultimate, and that's kind of the opportunities that I like to look out for. And yeah, the second game was also very similar to the first game, where all these tanks from both teams were really trying to initiate the fight after another, and went to really long fights, very extended fights. Yeah, I think especially with game 1, I think our damage dealers did not have room to go into the tanks and put in enough damage to knock them out, but I think we were trying to limit our mistakes in game 2 and trying to get that damage done, so that's kind of the difference between the two games. I think we have a few highlights that we can actually show through the videos here. did you mean to go towards the back a little bit? Yeah, if we extend our tanks a little bit further up, then the opponent dealers could not really position themselves well. So that was kind of what we intended in that play. Did you feel that you got the win right after that play? Yeah, definitely. Our booth was really quiet for most of the game, and right after the play, the tension really rose within our booth, and we all got very loud and very hyper about that after that play. And the third game was kind of an opposite situation where you picked out the victor this time around. Yeah, I was really aware of the Victor versus Oriana matchup, and since long ago, and I just kind of experimented with it and felt like it was a good pick to go with this time around. ADD, you didn't care about what your opponent picks, you just go with the Maokai and you just go with it pretty early in the drafting phase. Yeah, Maokai used to be a champion where it did have very noticeable counters and very counter picks to it. But I think with the recent meta change, there's been a less prevalence of that, so that's kind of why I go with it early. Did you feel like Maokai really adds to the composition, synergy-wise? Yeah, I think with Beyond having his champion really was his comfort pick, and also my Maokai was a comfort pick for me, so that's kind of why we went with that today. And you guys might have been really confused as soon as the game 2 started with the lane swaps and really getting the kill early from the opposition. I think it was a good chance for us to realize that BBQ can, pull off these plays, and they're really full of these unexpected plays, and that's kind of what we have to think about again once we do face them off again. And it just seems like this time around you guys seemed pretty calm after that initial death, and you guys came back through, unlike the times where you guys weren't doing it as well, but when you had that same kind of mistake you guys really faltered, but this time you guys seem different. Yeah, I think our really mindset about this whole gaming experience is that as long as we don't make mistakes and do exactly what we're supposed to do one by one, eventually we're gonna get our advantages, and that's kind of what we believed in, and so we just try to keep our mindset strong and our mentality strong as well. I think we have another video highlight we want to show of ADD making this play here. What mindset did you have in going on with this? Yeah, they had to open up a team fight as long as we initiated, so ADD went in strong, made the initiating fight, and we just put in the damage to the right people. Yeah, I think Maokai is one of those champions that never dies to a Jin, so you can just go in without fear, as I'm doing right now. So that's the situation where, if the other teammates kind of follow through, I'll take all the damage, and they can put in all the damage on the opposition as well. And a lot of people are really speculating that with the tank meta change, the Ocean Drake has a lot more value now. Yeah, I think since team fights are supposed to end relatively quickly, the Ocean Drakes aren't as effective as you think, but I feel like with the laning phase though, it's very helpful with the recent meta change with the tanks. So with the loss, win-win, you guys do get the win for this series, and a lot of people have been really confused about where the real standing of MVP as a team was until recent times, but you guys are getting those wins, and hopefully, with these MVP points that you guys are stacking up as a team, I'm sure you guys will do better. Would you like to say anything about that? Yeah, I think our solo queue points and our LCK points do differ very highly, so that's something we like to keep a little bit more balanced and try to get even with. So hopefully we can afford to do that someday. ADD, would you like to add to that? And of course, you showed a very good performance throughout the spring season, but this season you just seem like to be rather inconsistent in how you play out some certain plays. I felt like the meta was really to blame for most of the part. And the fact that, you know, when you have like Jax and Camille that has very weak tanking abilities, and no matter how well I do, if the opposition really goes all in on me, there's no way for me to survive. So this meta is definitely a more fitting one for me. You guys do get the win this time around, and hopefully you guys are one step closer in avoiding the relegation altogether. And you do have a few teams that you have to beat to make this happen. Would you like to say anything to your fans here? And we have 3 games that we must try to win, most of it at least. And I really want to use those accumulated points we had in spring to hopefully make it to contention for Worlds as well. So we're just really going to try hard to really try to get there. AD, anything you'd like to say to the fans as well? Yeah, I felt like the summer first round robin was really an embarrassing season for me, an embarrassing split for me that I really don't want to remember, but I like to just improve myself, and hopefully I'll get to see you guys with more pride. So that seems to be the end of the interview. Back over to you guys.